The aim of the Velocity project is to facilitate the individuals that try to find a job in another country by making them familiar with the diversity in the theories and practices of the interviews, partially as a result of the culture and ethnic differences among the European countries through an innovative 3D virtual world learning environment that will include scenarios simulating the most representative interview processes. The main objectives of Velocity are to explore and apply traits of multicultural interview behaviors and diverse ethnic characteristics into the simulation learning tool in order to maximize the skills and the competence of Europeans, to eliminate physical barriers and create equal opportunities for adults to collaborate, broaden their views and mind, exchange ideas, and engage in constructive dialogue, to provide the opportunity to adult learners to adapt to diverse working environments and interviews, to influence, motivate, and provide the opportunity to interested stakeholders to utilize and extend the scenarios and deliver a scalable and expandable open source virtual learning tool in terms of functionality and learning material. Velocity targets unemployed and misemployed adults, older adults, vet organizations, NGOs, and consultant organizations. To play a scenario, you will need to visit the official website of the project, velocity-project.eu, and from the virtual learning environment page, you can send a participation request for the scenario that you would like to play. The first step is to download and install the software that will give you access to the virtual learning environment. A technical manual can be downloaded to guide you by clicking here. As a potential learner, choose a scenario and send a request to play it. This includes listing your email, your name, the language, and the country where you would like to seek a job. Your request will be received by the corresponding partner, who will then liaise with an educator to organize the date and time for the interview. As a potential educator, you would need to send an email to the partner organization of your country. The creation of an educator account will commence following approval. You can access the full digital version of the scenario by clicking here. The Learn and Educator tutorials that will guide one through the scenario are also available here and here respectively. Please keep in mind that different scenarios can be scheduled to be played on the same date and time, but the same scenario cannot. Once you enter the Velocity virtual learning environment, you will find yourself in the welcome area. You will notice some general useful tips on one panel, and the project website can also be accessed from this area too. In addition, from here you can download the tutorial for each scenario. If you are a learner you will only be able to download the learner's tutorials. If you are an educator, you'll be able to download the educator's tutorials. Keep in mind that you're also given learner tips and evaluator indicators as you play a given scenario. You can then save the tutorials, tips and indicators to your inventory. Finally, you can also teleport to the various scenarios from the welcome area. All scenarios of Velocity make use of badges to motivate and encourage the learner in achieving a successful learning experience. There are 3 levels of badges: bronze, silver, and gold. An educator knows that the main objective is to motivate the learner, which means that the award of any of the badges should be seen as a positive step. Educators are provided with some general and more scenario-specific tips. Together with their practical experience, these tips will help them in making a decision as to which badge to award a learner. Simply explained, the award of a bronze badge indicates an average performance from the learner in the interview. The award of the silver badge indicates a good performance from the learner in the interview. And the award of a gold badge indicates a very good performance from the learner in the interview. As an educator, the badges are only accessible by you. To give a badge to the learner, click the badge you want to give: gold, silver or bronze. And the selected badge will be copied to your inventory inside the objects folder with the name badge, SC and the number of the scenario. Then you have to click and drag it onto the learner's avatar. The learner will then receive a notification asking to accept the badge. Upon acceptance, the badge will be copied to the learner's inventory. If you are a learner, your educator will give you the appropriate badge: gold, silver or bronze. The badges are accessible only by your educator. Even if you click on any of them, you will receive a chat message that only the educator can offer you the badge. At the end of the interview, your educator will click the appropriate badge and you'll receive a notification asking you to accept the badge. Upon your acceptance, the badge will be copied to your inventory inside the objects folder with the name badge, SC and the number of the scenario. In total, there are 7 scenarios to choose from. These scenarios were defined following various research activities that were conducted within each partner country. The results from research were then consolidated by all partners in order to decide and draft the scenarios. The main points for each scenario are presented on the virtual learning environment page of the website. Scenario 1 focuses on the preparation for the interview. One learner and one educator are needed to play this scenario. Scenario 2 focuses on common questions in a face-to-face interview. One learner and one educator are needed to play this scenario. Scenario 3 focuses on the competence-based interview. One learner and one educator are needed to play this scenario. Scenario 4 focuses on the panel interview. One learner and two educators are needed to play this scenario. Scenario 5 focuses on concrete questions in a face-to-face interview. These are more difficult questions that are experienced in face-to-face interviews in comparison to those of Scenario 2. One learner and one educator are needed to play this scenario. Scenario 6 focuses on the group interview. Two learners and one educator are needed to play this scenario. Scenario 7 focuses on the behavioral interview. One learner and one educator are needed to play this scenario. As an educator, when you enter a building for a given scenario, you'll find a secretary that will provide learners with important information. Once you enter the room of the interview, you'll find the educator indicators. These indicators are editable, thus enabling you to take notes during the actual interview. You can then provide your corresponding feedback to the learner using your notes. As a learner, when you enter a building for a given scenario, you'll find a secretary that will provide you with learner tips. These tips will help you to perform better in the interview.